Paige, and the title of my speech is Zoos Are Wild About Conservation. I want you to stop and close your eyes. I want you to picture the first time you visited a zoo or an aquarium. The first time, as probably a kid, you got to see a live tiger right in front of your eyes. Or maybe you got to see a sea turtle dive into the water and swim right past you. Think about how cool that was and how you learned so much from such a short visit to the zoo. In recent years, zoos have become controversial, as both extinction rates of some species and the reports of facilities that mistreat animals in zoos and aquariums has increased. The number of animals being kept in zoos has come to question. Should animals be kept in zoos? Today I'll be explaining why the captivity of animals in zoos is not necessarily a bad thing, and I'll be discussing how many zoos and facilities do treat their animals well, how zoos protect endangered species, and how zoos can offer a wide variety of learning experiences to both people and researchers. There are many zoos and facilities that take very good care of their animals. For instance, many zoos have on-site vets. According to AZA, the Association of Zoos and Aquariums, more than 230 top zoos and aquariums work to provide with good medical care and a nurturing environment, as well as safe habitats for their animals. One of these many zoos that employs full-time vets is Brookfield Zoo in Brookfield, Illinois. At their zoos, they have 7 vets as a part of their full-time staff. Along with this, they have 3 clinical vets as well as an anesthesiologist and a radiologist. This is not the only zoo that has on-site vets, not by a long shot. Even the Sacramento Zoo, the Oakland Zoo, and the San Francisco Zoo all have full-time vets. These animals are still in captivity, but having on-site vets ensures the safety and health of animals. Animal Kingdom at Disney World takes really good care of their animals too. The habitats that the animals are placed in are properly sized for them, and they closely resemble what these animal habitats look like in the real world. Animal Kingdom has an on-site medical clinic that provides care for their animals, but not in an intrusive manner. An article published by D23, the official Disney Insider website, vets at Animal Kingdom often deliver new baby animals to a certain extent. They watch the birth from a camera, and they only intervene in the case of an emergency. Other zoos do this too, such as the Milwaukee County Zoo. The keepers also try and keep things as real as they can. The zookeepers often hide food in the animals' habitats, so they forage for food just like they would in the wild. This is something they do at the Sacramento Zoo as well. Many zoos have habitats that are properly spaced for each type of animal. For example, there's enough space for the animal to break into an outright run or fly. Habitats that closely resemble their own are typically implemented. Animals that require a naturally wetter climate typically have some sort of water feature in addition to a regular source of water. Zoos also help with the protection of endangered animals. There are many breeding programs in place too. And one thing that most zoos do is work together. A network of breeding programs known as the European Endangered Species Program, or the EEPS. The program is an effort made by zoos in 41 countries, and it allows zoos to work together to breed animals and keep the species from going extinct. The EEPS has helped with the conservation of many species, such as the Sumatran tiger and the gorilla. Many different types of breeding programs exist. This is just one example of one in Europe. Just last year, the San Diego Zoo returned the last of their 2 giant pandas to China, from which they were originally on loan. The pandas were a part of a breeding program in which San Diego was able to take them in and help conserve the species. They received pandas from them originally back in 1996, and just last year they sent back the last 2 that had been bred. In the 23 years of the panda's residency at San Diego, the species went from endangered to vulnerable. There are many programs similar to this one where animals are sent to other zoos for care. By helping to raise animals that won't make it on their own, zoos are able to do this. With threats of poachers and illegal hunting, sometimes zoos are a safer place for animals, especially endangered ones. Animals such as elephants and rhinos are vulnerable for their husks and their horns. Zoos are able to offer protection to keep as many of these animals safe. Many zoos have reintroduction programs as well, where animals are rehabilitated and released into their natural habitats. The Monterey Bay Aquarium does this. Their animals are rescued and they're raised in the zoo and aquarium, and they are later released back into the wild. This is another method of conservation that zoos utilize. In addition to conservation and safety of the animals, zoos offer a wide variety of learning experiences for both people and researchers. While animals are kept in zoos, researchers and vets are able to study these animals in an effort to understand more about them. In turn, the keepers and vets can ensure that the animals are being treated properly in zoos and that they're given enough space and freedom so they can live how they would in the wild, along with showing their natural behaviors. People can also learn a lot. A day at the zoo may seem like a fun activity for people, but it offers a great learning experience. Not only are they able to learn more about the animals themselves, but they are able to truly learn about the extinction of animals and the dangers presented to this species. As the AZA explained, people who are more educated on the idea and roles of conservation tend to evaluate their role in the environment and the positive or negative impacts they are creating. So having people attend zoos and learn is more important in the protection of animals. In conclusion, while there are zoos that do treat animals badly, there are a lot of zoos that are attentive and treat their animals well and are making an effort to conserve species and stop them from going extinct. Animals should still reside in zoos because there are so many programs and researchers who are making a difference, as well as conserving the species and educating the public on conservation. Zoos are not just for entertainment. They allow for learning opportunities and for the people to reflect on the impact they leave. Thank you.